Debt can be overwhelming, but it is possible to completely pay it off. The key is to develop a plan and stick to it. 1. Making a list of all your debts is an important step in the process of paying off debt. Creditor: this is the name of the institution or person that you owe the debt to. For example, it could be a credit card company, a bank, a private lender, or even a family member. Interest rate: this is the percentage of the debt that you pay as interest. Interest rates are important to know because they determine how much you will pay in total over the life of the loan. High interest rate debts should be prioritized to pay off first as they will cost you more over time. Minimum monthly payment: this is the smallest amount of money that you are required to pay on your debt each month to keep the account current. Amount owed: knowing how much you owe on each debt is crucial, as it gives you an idea of the total amount of debt you have. By making a list of all your debts, including the creditor, interest rate, minimum monthly payment, and amount owed, you'll be able to see the big picture of your debt situation. It's important to note that not only credit card debts, but any kind of debt you might have should be included, such as mortgage, car loans, personal loans, and etc. 2. Creating a budget is an essential step in the process of paying off debt. It should take into account all your income and expenses, both fixed and variable. Income: this includes all the money you bring in from various sources such as salary, rental income, alimony, child support, etc. Expenses: these are all the things you spend money on, including fixed expenses such as rent/mortgage, utilities, and insurance, as well as variable expenses like groceries, entertainment, transportation, and etc. Identify fixed and variable expenses. Fixed expenses are the expenses that don't change month to month and are typically bills that must be paid regularly. These could include rent/mortgage, car payments, insurance, and etc. Variable expenses, on the other hand, can change month to month, such as groceries, entertainment, and miscellaneous expenses. Allocate funds: once you have an accurate picture of your income and expenses, you can begin to allocate funds. Prioritize the essential expenses such as housing, food, transportation, and medical expenses. Track your expenses: keeping track of your expenses is essential in order to stick to your budget. Use a budgeting app, spreadsheet, or even a notebook to track your income and expenses every day. Review your budget regularly. Review your budget every month, look for areas where you overspent, and make adjustments for the next month. Creating a budget that takes into account all your income and expenses will give you a clear picture of where your money is going and where you can cut back. 3. Prioritizing your debts is an important step in the process of paying them off. When you have multiple debts, it can be difficult to know where to start. One effective strategy is to prioritize your debts by their interest rates. High interest rate debts: these are debts that have a higher interest rate, such as credit card debt or personal loans. These debts will cost you more money over time in interest charges, so it makes sense to focus on paying them off first. Low interest rate debts: these are debts that have a lower interest rate, such as student loans or a mortgage. Debt snowball or debt avalanche: two popular methodologies to pay off debt. The snowball method is where you start by paying off the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate, and the avalanche method is where you start by paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance. Paying more than the minimum: to help you pay off your high interest rate debts more quickly, you'll want to pay more than the minimum payment. This will help you reduce your debt faster, and you'll also save money on interest charges in the long run. And as you progress with this method, you'll be able to see the progress and your situation get better and better. In some cases, high interest rate debts may also have larger balances and high minimum payments, which would make it difficult to pay off while covering the expenses. 4. Increasing your income is an important step in the process of paying off debt because it can give you more money to put towards paying off your debts. Get a part-time job. One way to increase your income is to get a part-time job. Start a side hustle. Another option is to start a side hustle, which is a small business or freelance work that you can do in addition to your full-time job. Look for a raise or promotion. If you're already employed, consider asking for a raise or seeking a promotion. Rent out your property. If you have a spare room or a vacation home, you can rent it out to travelers to earn additional income. Sell items you no longer need. Another way to increase your income is to sell items that you no longer need. You should consider making a plan for how to use the additional income. For example, use it for paying off high interest rate debts, saving for emergencies, or investing for the future. 5. Making more than the minimum payment on your debts is an effective way to pay them off faster and save money on interest charges. Minimum payments. Most debts require you to make a minimum payment each month. Making only the minimum payment will keep your accounts current, but it will not significantly reduce the balance of your debt. Additional payments. Making additional payments beyond the minimum can help you to pay off your debt faster. Faster debt payoff. By paying more than the minimum, you will be able to pay off your debt faster. This is because a larger portion of each payment is going towards the principal balance, which means that the balance is decreasing at a faster rate. Interest savings. By paying off your debt faster, you'll also save money on interest charges. This is because the longer you take to pay off your debt, the more interest you'll have to pay over the life of the loan. By paying off the debt faster, you'll be paying less interest overall. Prioritize high interest rate debt. If you have multiple debts, consider focusing on paying off the ones with the highest interest rates first, since those will cost you more in the long run. 6. Being consistent and disciplined is crucial when trying to pay off debt. It requires making payments on time every month and sticking to a budget in order to avoid late fees and additional interest charges. Making payments on time. Late payments can result in late fees, additional interest charges, and damage to your credit score. Sticking to a budget. A budget is an important tool that helps you manage your money and ensure that you are allocating funds towards paying off your debt. Reviewing your progress. Reviewing your progress regularly is important in order to keep on track with your plan and avoid falling behind. Automating payments. You can set up automatic payments to make sure you never miss a payment. 7. While working to pay off debt, it's important to avoid taking on more debt. This means not using credit cards or taking out loans. Compounding of debt. When you take on more debt, you are essentially adding more to what you already owe, which can make it harder to pay off your existing debt. Additionally, the more debt you have, the more interest you'll be charged, and that can compound, making it even harder to pay off over time. Credit score. Carrying a lot of debt can also harm your credit score. Mental burden. Carrying a lot of debt can also be mentally and emotionally stressful. Deviating from the plan. When you take on new debt, you are essentially deviating from your plan of paying off debt. Prioritize paying off existing debt. Prioritizing paying off existing debt is the most effective way to work towards becoming debt-free. Avoiding taking on new debt is a key step in the process of paying off debt. Instead, focus on using cash or debit cards for everyday expenses, and look for ways to increase your income and cut back on expenses. This will help you to avoid falling back into the trap of taking on more debt, and allow you to make steady progress towards becoming debt-free. With consistent payments and a commitment to avoiding new debt, you can make steady progress towards becoming debt-free. If you're having trouble making ends meet or can't seem to get out of debt on your own, consider seeking the help of a financial advisor or a credit counselor. By developing a plan, sticking to it, and making the necessary sacrifices, you can become debt-free and take control of your finances. This article is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice. The information provided in this video is not intended to be a substitute for professional financial advice. Please consult a financial professional before making any financial decisions.